Hello and happy Monday, and welcome to another time saving tip for the week. So, today, and I'm Janet Leonard with Virtual Instructor, and today we're going to talk about the paste special command, which you have with both Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. So, I'll start out talking about the commands and I'll demo them in Excel, and then I'll pop over to Google Sheets so that depending on which one you use, a lot of us have to switch back and forth. So it's kind of nice to know how to do this little time-saving tip in both programs. Alrighty, so before we get started, I'm going to do just a little housekeeping because sometimes it takes people a little while to log in or to join us, I should say. And I'm going to take you over our website is virtualinstructor.com. So if you like these Monday lives, you can just go on our homepage and click on the Monday live events. And then if you are interested, especially today, if you like what I'm showing you, you might want to sign up for our little reminder or follow-up newsletters, because I'm going to have a lot of the keyboard shortcuts and a little step-by-step in the follow-up email here. So if you are interested, and so today we're talking about Excel and Google Paste Special Options. On Labor Day, I'm still going to go live. So if you work in Word and are interested in tips with graphics, I'm going to go into that. If you're using Microsoft Teams on September 13th, I'm going to talk about that and give you an overview so you understand them. And Zoom people, we're going to talk about Zoom on the 20th. All right, enough of that. So now let's go ahead and start talking about Paste Special, and I'm going to show you again how to use this in Excel as well as Sheets. Now, some of these features are not available in Google Sheets, but I'm going to show you how to use these features in Excel, and then I'll show you the same features that work in Sheets. They work slightly differently, but they're the same concept. So I think you'll enjoy that. Now, I'm going to pop over to, I'm going to change over to my Excel spreadsheet. So I have a few opened up for you. So here is an Excel spreadsheet, and I have several different tabs to demonstrate different things. I'll try zooming in a little bit to make it a little easier to see. Let's try that. Now you can see it a little bit better. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the transpose feature. If you've ever either set it up or inherited something where you set your spreadsheet up in one format, one set of columns and rows, and then you realize, uh-oh, I got to switch it around, maybe for charts or just people wanted a different way, whatever. So here's how you can avoid retyping it. I'm all about having you stop doing things the hard way and reclaiming your valuable time, right? So you select what you want, and you have to, by the way, I don't know if you can see up in the upper left corner, but on the Home tab, currently the paste command is grayed out. That's because we haven't copied anything to the clipboard. So I'm just going to do the keyboard shortcut Control-C, and you might be able to see we call these, I call them marching ants. But this kind of gives you an idea of what's selected. And notice up on the Home tab that now the paste command is visible. So to get to the paste special commands, which means you're not just pasting everything, you get to selectively pick what's going to be pasted from what's been copied up on the clipboard to wherever you want. By the way, this works the same way if you cut something, whatever's on the clipboard. So I'm going to go to that lower portion and click on it, and you'll see there's a whole bunch of different options. Now, if you just want to see kind of what they do, you can kind of hover over these things, and you may notice that it kind of changes some of the different options. Well, it's not changing it here, but sometimes you'll actually see the change. Now, there is one in the paste area called transpose. So before I do this, I forgot one little step. I've selected it. I should probably click where I'd like this thing to be transposed. Minor detail. All right, now I'll go back up to the little drop down, and I'll go to transpose, and I haven't even clicked on it. It just automatically said, okay, here's what it's going to look like. So I'm going to do a single click, and look how fast that was to transpose your data. So if you need to transpose data, Paste Special is a super fast way to do that. All righty, now another option that I love using this for is what's called values. Now I'm going to go ahead and click over on my values tab. which I have set up already. And in here, if you take a quick look, what I did was I had the same values, but they are actually linked over to that sheet we just were in called transpose. So the value in cell B2 is actually the value found over on the transpose worksheet in cell B2. So just to show you that this is linked, I'll go back over to transpose. Right now it's 113. I'll click back over onto transpose, and I'm going to change that value to 500. And as soon as I hit enter, notice it didn't change anything when we did the transpose, but when I was in the data that I linked to, changed it to 500. Now, when we go back to values, see it's now 500 because it's linked. So the scenario for this one is sometimes you need to copy this information that has formulas in it and are looking at other cells and maybe other sheets or whatever. You need to copy that and paste it somewhere else. And you don't want that link. You just want the values that you see in that range. So sometimes you've linked over to some other spreadsheet and now you want to start something new. Maybe a lot of times if you're doing a year at a time, so you might have, say, 2020 data, and now you want to roll maybe December over into 2021, and you want it on another sheet or even another Word doc. So I've selected this, and once again, I'll copy it, Control C. Now this is active. And in this case, I'm going to go over to another sheet just to show you. I'm going to go over to values 2, which is just blank. I'm going to do it the wrong way first. So let's say I don't want to put it exactly where it was before. So I want it to say go over here. Now, when I paste it, if I do a plain old paste, look at the values I get. I get some numbers, but remember that was supposed to be 500. And I'll make it a little bit bigger again for you. And then I get a bunch of zeros. That's because it's still trying to look over at that transpose sheet because it's still linked. So instead, I'll select this and just simply hit the delete key. So instead, what I want to do is, and notice it's not on the clipboard anymore. So I'll go back over to the values and I will copy it. This time I'll just click the copy command. Now I'll go back over to values 2. And while I'm at that new location, I'll go back up to the drop down and I'll go down to paste values. And when I paste the values, it gives me all of the values that were on the value sheet that was linked over to transpose, but it converts them to actual numbers. So now I can start working and doing whatever sorts of things I need to do with this new data. So hopefully this is going to save you a lot of time because, one, we don't have to retype it. And if you retype it, you run the risk of making typos, right? Plus, I have a little tiny one, but if you had 2,000 rows and 10 columns and you have to retype that all, that's a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time. And again, you probably have to have somebody else help you double check the data. So this is why Paste Special is so valuable. Alrighty, so that is the values one. Now I'll show you another way that you can use Paste Special. By the way, I'm not going to show you every different way because there's so many different ways. So this will hopefully give you some ideas on how you can apply it. And then you can get more creative as you get more comfortable with this command. Here's an example where I have a format that I like, and I have different numbers over here. So I don't want to have to redo this format. I just want the format applied to these numbers. I don't want the numbers changed. I just want the format to be applied. So I'm going to select the cells that have the format I want. Once again, copy it. I'll just click copy up here. Now I'll select the cells that I want to have formatted. I'll go back up to the drop-down portion of paste. And this one you're going to see a little bit better. Notice that when I highlight paste, it basically applies the formats, but it also changed the number because notice that's supposed to be 913. And so I don't want that to change that. So once again, it's still in memory because I can see the marching ants. I'll go back over here and I can hover over a whole variety of different options and see different things. But most of these, as I hover over them, they change the format, but they're also changing the value. So there is another one down toward the bottom that says other paste options. This lets me paste just the format and not change the values. Now it doesn't change the column widths. So I'll show you how to change that in a moment. So I'll click on that and now I've changed the formats on here. If I wanted also, while I have it selected, I want to now highlight and I want to change this to be the same column widths. So it's still remembering this in memory, right? I can go back up to paste special and there's an option for column widths. So then it can change my column widths for me as well. So that could be a huge time saver or just a little one. But again, it's just a faster way to do that. I have a couple more I'll show you in Excel and then we'll pop over to Word. I'll click over into copy column widths only. So if you just want the column widths and you don't want the formatting, again, you can highlight what has the information you want to copy. So I'll copy that, come on over here, and this time I'll just go to paste and I'll go straight down to the, whoops, let's back up, make sure I got this copied right. Okay, copy, and not sure why it's not showing, so we'll soon find out. All right, I don't see the, oh, there it is. Ha, minor detail, looked at the wrong place. It's keeping the source, but it's going with column widths, and I don't want that. I just want the column width set, right? So if you don't see an option that you want, you can go over to paste special, and it's got 3 little dots. So whenever you see 3 little dots in any program or on any button, it means you're going to get a dialog box popping up. So they have more options for you. So in this case, all I want to do is paste the column width. And I'll talk about this operation in just a moment. So now when I choose OK, notice how it pastes just the column widths, but it doesn't do the formatting. We'll do, I'm going to skip over to the add one so you can see this. This is kind of a cool feature a lot of people don't know about. Sometimes you downloaded data and you need to add that data to existing data that might already have formulas in it. And mine, I'm keeping it real simple for you, but you don't want to have to then go rewrite more formulas or make a new sheet to add the formula of the data that you were, already had, and now you downloaded this other data. So here's a really neat trick. Notice I have 6, 1, I have different numbers here. I want to add 7 and 6. So I want this to change to 13. I want this to change to 4, and I don't want to have to write a bunch of formulas. And I can do one where I apply the format or I just apply the number. So I'll select this and I'll copy it. And then I'll come over to where I want to paste it. Now this one you have to go to paste special to do. And by the way, this is not available in Google. Hi, Amy. I'm glad you're finding this helpful. I'll go back to the drop down and I'm going to go to paste special. And if I want to have just the value without all the formats and comments and all that, then I would go to just plain value. But right now I'll keep it on all. And then you come down to the operation and you can, by default, it's none, but I'm going to choose add. You can also subtract, you can multiply, or you can divide. And by the way, here's transpose here as well. You can do everything that you could do in the cute little icons in the paste special. So I'm just going to choose add and I'm going to choose all. So this means it's not only going to add that number 7 and 3 and whatever, but it's going to format it. So I'll choose OK and look at that. Voila, format it. Now the last one I'll show you is where we do basically the same thing. I'll copy this. And this time all I want to do is add the numbers. And I remember I could subtract, multiply, whatever. I did add because it's easy to see the difference. I'll go back to the drop down and go back to paste special. And this time I'll say just add the values. By the way, if you add it as formulas, it adds it and it creates a formula as it's adding it. I just want the final result in this one. And I'll choose add, OK, and there it is. So wonderful. Hey, Mary, nice to see you there. So that's how to do this in Excel. So now let me show you how to do this in Google. And it's very easy. And by the way, like I said, if you sign up for the reminders, I actually will have you'll get an email that literally walks you through the little shortcuts on how to do this and any keyboard shortcuts. All right, let's pop over to Google. And now I have Google over here. And on my Google sheet, oh, Looks like I already transposed it, so I'll delete that. So let's talk about how to transpose in Google. Once again, you select what you want and you copy it. I'm just doing Control C. Move to where you want the transposed information to be. And in Google, all you do is go to Edit, Paste Special. Now you will see you don't have as many options as you did in Excel, but I want to transpose. So way down at the bottom, Paste, Transpose, and voila, there it is. Now I'll go over to the values option. And remember, this one has the same thing as before. It's actually got the numbers, but they're linked over to the transpose page in the Google Sheet. So I'm going to select all of this and I'll copy it. I'll go over to the blank one and just move kind of over here. Just like in Excel, I'll go back over to Edit, Paste Special, Space Special, and this time I'll choose Paste Values Only. And the keyboard shortcut is Control-Shift+V. And if you're a Mac person, it's Command-Shift+V. And there it is, and it works. All right, so keep it nice and short for you with the copy formats. Let's go over here, and I'm just going to copy the formats over here. And once again, Control-C, go to where I want the formats to be copied, go back up to Edit, Paste Special, and I'll paste Formats Only. And kind of like before, if I want the column widths as well, I'll just come back over to the original. Now you didn't see any marching ants, so I had to copy it again. And then I'll go to where I want it applied, go back up to Edit, Paste Special, and then I'll paste the column widths only. So hopefully that gives you some ideas on how you can use Paste Special for both Excel and Google Sheets. Knowing Paste Special is going to save you just a tremendous amount of time, especially if you use really large amounts of data. So I hope this helps you and helps save some time this week if you're working on some Excel projects, and hope to see you next week when we talk about graphics with Word. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And then I'll just end up, in case you're interested in making sure that if you want to hear when our next live is, here you go. Next one will be Monday, Labor Day, talking about working with graphics in Words. We're not talking just putting the graphic in. I'm going to show you some really cool stuff. Have a great rest of your day, and hope you have a wonderful Labor Day as well, and hope to see you next week. Bye.